seen it or you're watching it at the moment, please, I guess click off this video or fast forward it because it will contain spoilers. I'll try and not spoil it too much, but yeah. So I'm just sipping a hot chocolate because it's October, so it's warm drink weather. It's not a very high quality hot chocolate, it's only cheap stuff, so you have to put in quite a few spoonfuls for it to taste like anything. Anyway guys, I'm re-watching Game of Thrones, so I started from about season 2, season 3, and I'm just going through them, and watching them. Originally I didn't watch Game of Thrones. I started out when it started to get famous. I did watch a few episodes, but I did watch a few episodes, but it took me quite a long time to actually get into it, because there was a lot of hype around it. So I thought I'm going to give it a go. Now I did see the last season, but it was a real letdown, especially the episode. Was it Long Night or The Long Night or something like that? I'm not a die-hard Game of Thrones fan, although I do enjoy certain scenes from Game of Thrones. You know, I do enjoy a lot of the characters, especially Tyrion Lannister. Now Tyrion Lannister, he's a guy, and he's got the condition known as dwarfism. So, he has to overcome a lot of hardships in his life, and I just find him a really good character because he's very charismatic and funny. He's a bit of an alcoholic. He's not really a tough character. He doesn't have to. What gives him his uniqueness compared to other characters is his dialogue. He is really, he can create he can steal a scene just by talking. You don't really get a sense that, you need a lot going off in a scene when he's about. His dad didn't like him simply for the fact is, he was born with dwarfism, so, his dad took a real dislike to him, so, he has to go through a lot of hardships, and it just, it shapes his character. He has a lot of good quotes as well, about, quotes that I think a lot of people can relate to. Like, basically, he says, one of his quotes is, wear it like armour and they cannot hurt you. So, basically, if people are attempting to shame you in any way, accept what you are, and basically you can love yourself for who you are, and no matter what they say or do to you, it won't hurt you. So yeah, I was really intrigued with the whole storyline about the dragons. They did a really good job CGI wise with the dragons. You get to see them go from these tiny little dragons into these massive sort of on-screen monsters. Another character I really like is Jaime Lannister. Now, the only thing I don't like about Jaime Lannister is basically he's in a relationship with his sister. So, Game of Thrones has got a very weird. The guy who wrote Game of Thrones, George R.R. Martin, he has a really strange obsession about incest, because it later turns out that Daenerys Targaryen, who is played by Emilia Clarke, and Jon Snow, who is played by Kit Harington, they're related as well, and they're in a sexual relationship. So one relationship based on incest you can understand, but two, it's a bit weird if you ask me. But anyway, I like Jaime Lannister because he's a warrior, and you see him go from the bad guy to the good guy. I like that relationship where between characters as well that he has with other characters. I like that relationship between Bronn. Bronn is a sellsword, and Jaime Lannister loses his hand. So obviously, he was a fighter. So without his hand, he does struggle because he can't find any other meaning or purpose to his life. So Bronn teaches him to use his left hand to fight, and it sort of humbles him. He was a really cocky character before he lost his hand. So when he lost his hand, it really did humble him, and I think in my opinion, it made him a better character as well. But as I said, I didn't really enjoy the incest parts because I found it really weird and really strange. But yeah, there's some really great fight scenes as well. There's some really great swordsmen in Game of Thrones. Sorry. There's a fight scene between Jaime Lannister and Eddard Stark. The fight scene is really intense because it's been in season one. It's been building this sort of dislike, of one another. It was building throughout the season. So when you finally do see them go at it, it's it's really tense because you're thinking who's going to win. But the choreography is really good. Between fight scenes, sometimes fight scenes can get a little bit boring and a little bit, repetitive. But these are some really, high class, quality, put together fight scenes, with really good swordsmanship. There's some really nice swords as well. Like, each character has a unique sword. That brings out their character. So, Eddard Stark's sword is called Ice. Jaime Lannister's is called Oathkeeper or Oathbreaker, I think. Kit Harington's sword. Kit Harington plays Jon Snow. His sword is called Longclaw, and it's got a wolf on the handle to represent the house that he came from. To represent, yeah. So it's almost like his house emblem is a wolf. So yeah. Now Game of Thrones, you shouldn't really watch it with your family. In my opinion, it's quite sexual. It's got a lot of sex scenes in. There are a lot of gorgeous, actresses in this Emilia Clarke and just to name one. But yeah, the sex scenes don't really do anything for me because sometimes I think it's just it doesn't really tell. It's not part of the story. Like when you're showing romance on screen, you can build that sort of romantic relationship between two characters. You can build it with just dialogue and the way the characters interact with each other. Yes, physically, you can tell when two characters are in a romantic relationship, but you don't need to go as far as like full-blown porn scenes, But yeah, I think it got better as the seasons went along, but then it sort of hit like a brick wall. As I said, season 8. No, I didn't say this. Sorry, season 8 wasn't a very good season. One of the episodes, the Longest Night, or I think it's called The Longest Night, was meant to be this huge siege, involving loads of different characters, and it was meant to be this big like event in the TV show. But unfortunately, they chose to film it at night, and you just could not tell what was going on. It was literally just like somebody had just it was just a black screen. It was really for the whole hour it was on. It was really badly written. It was badly put together. It was badly directed. It was a real letdown, especially when they were building to this massive, almost, this massive pivotal event, and it just turned out to be utter nonsense. It's kind of like what my screen looks like now, black. That's all you could see. But acting is absolutely amazing. I mean, like I said, with the sex scenes, it must take some real courage to film a sex scene. You know, like I don't think I'd enjoy, getting naked in front of like cast and crew. You got people filming you. You'd probably have to be a porn star to start with to even enjoy that sort of work. But yeah, I've never read the books before, so I'm not sure like how the on-screen characters compared to the characters in the book. But yeah, it's a lot like a Guy Ritchie movie. I mean, Guy Ritchie, who does films like Snatch and King Arthur, Legend of the Sword. In Guy Ritchie's, that's a bit of a tongue twister. Basically, in his movies, he tends to sort of do all these sort of story arcs, and then he pieces them together in an overall story. So it's like Game of Thrones is like that. Like if you don't like what's going on in one story, you can follow another. There's always something going on and something to look forward to. Yeah. One of the best scenes I think is was one of the battles called Battle of the Bastards. It was this huge on-screen battle, and it was really, intense. Jon Snow was up against a character called Ramsay Bolton, and it was really intense because you thought Jon Snow was losing, and then he sort of manages to get out of the situation that he was in. You honestly thought he was going to die in that scene. But yeah, that's a bit too much of a spoiler because that's like sort of saying what did he almost lived in that scene. So I mean, he does live in the scene, but yeah. Sorry guys, I'm rambling a bit too much here. But yeah, I won't say too much because I think if future generations watch this video and they're watching Game of Thrones, I think it would ruin the whole effect. Like as each season went along, you were sort of waiting for the next season to see what happens. They were always left on sort of cliffhangers. And these stories that the writers, that the directors were telling on screen. You were always looking for, the end. How do the characters' stories end? So it was really exciting, and it gave you something to look forward to. So I think that by spoiling something, you you ruin it for the next people that are wanting to watch it. We had a massive problem with people spoiling the seasons. There were always spoilers. It's like anything now. You have to stay off the internet to avoid spoilers. It's not fair, I think, when people spoil things because it's just not. Things lose their intensity. Especially certain scenes. When what are left on cliffhangers, you want to see for yourself what happened. Yeah. I also think the production was impressive because it cost a lot of money to make each episode of Game of Thrones. They had very exotic locations, and because they're always visually stunning. So the amount of money that went into creating each individual episode was astounding. But I'm not exactly sure. I think it cost about 300 million an episode. I'm not sure, guys. So Google it and see. But yeah, they really did put that money to good use, especially in large-scale scenes. What I like about Game of Thrones too is there's a lot of powerful female characters. You don't really tend to get powerful female characters. Yes, there's a lot of sex scenes, but it doesn't really portray these women as weak. They're always very powerful. In positions of authority, and the acting of some of the female cast. It is it's truly amazing. The actors, I think, brought the intensity actors as well. They can look back on their career, and they can see themselves as almost child slash teenage actors. Um, I mean, they can see themselves literally grow up. And they can see how their acting ability was shaped and formed by taking part in the production of Game of Thrones. But yeah, Emilia Clarke, who plays Daenerys Targaryen, she was, I think, 22 and she finished it at 32, so a whole decade. Even Kit Harington stated that the entire of his 20s was spent making Game of Thrones. Yeah, but a lot of the actors went on to do great things. It really did kick off their careers. Like Nikolai Coster-Waldau, is it Coster-Waldau? Who plays Jaime Lannister? I'm sorry if I pronounced that wrong. He's actually Danish. He went on to do lots of other good projects, like a film called Shot Caller. And he really does take that intensity and that on-screen presence. He took it from Game of Thrones, and he really just portrayed it in all of his movies. He is a really good actor. But there was a petition that you could sign to ask the producers to remake season 8 of Game of Thrones, because a lot of fans weren't happy how it all played out in the end. I must admit, I was tempted to sign that petition. I think they just needed to go back to the drawing board, reassess the storylines, and give the storylines the finish that they deserve. All the hard work and effort that the actors and the cast and the crew have put into making Game of Thrones. It felt really rushed in the end. So, they really do deserve, a better finale. We need a better finale to really do the whole series justice. And a lot of the time as well, in the last series, well, even in the later series, they missed out key storylines. Like it almost felt as though they just abandoned whole storylines. Like they just decided that they were going to write these stories. Put a bit of effort into them. A bit of screen time, give them a bit of screen time, and then they just totally abandoned the stories. We ended up with storylines that came to nothing, basically. All this suspense and sort of wondering what will happen next. All these questions that we had were just simply left unanswered in the end. But I guess it's up to the individual whether you thought the last season was any good. I didn't like it, but that's only me personally. It was like 50% of people liked it and 50% of people didn't. But yeah. So it's definitely a TV show I would recommend. I haven't really gone into too much detail, because at the end of the day, the best way to review something for yourself is simply to watch things and give it a go. Because that's the beauty of freedom. You get to watch what you watch, and you get to watch what you want. And you get to like what you want. Just because I like something doesn't mean that you will, and just because you like something doesn't mean I will. We are all entitled to our own opinions. But yeah. Anyway, guys, I will try to upload at least once a week. I'm trying for once a day, but I feel like I should go for quality over quantity. I don't want my videos to start becoming boring. Yes, they are for ASMR purposes and relaxation purposes, but at the same time, you actually want a bit more. You actually want your my mind's gone blank. You want a bit of substance to my videos. You know, you don't want to be bored the whole time that you're listening. But yeah, I really need some video ideas, guys. So please get posting them requests in the comment section. You know, again, I can't eat anything that's got meat in it. So if you want me to do eating videos, please ensure that the products that you want me to eat are vegetarian or vegan, and I won't be showing my face. So please ensure that the videos that you're requesting are talking only. I could just eat something, you know, if you just want to hear eating sounds, but other than that, it'll just be talking for now. If I get 10,000 subscribers, I will reveal myself either through social media or on my channel. But that's only if I have 10,000 subscribers. You know, I'm not interested in money at all, guys. So I would never say to you, look, if you want me to make content, please give me money. No, guys, no, that will never happen. You have my word. I will never ask you for money ever. The only thing that I will ask you to do is subscribe. Please subscribe, guys. It takes a second of your time. Hit the subscribe button, and then we can be best mates, can't we? Because I really do appreciate it. If you've been watching my previous videos, you've put up with me for this long, so it's worth giving that like button a tap, worth giving that subscription button a tap. So anyway, guys, I'll let you get on. I hope you have a great day or a great night wherever you are, and yeah, stay cool and stay safe.